We're up bright and breezy this morning. We're taking the idyllic drive out to Rutland. I brought with me my Verso consumer unit from Premspec.
Absolutely. Now, I've reviewed this in a previous video, but what are we going to be doing in this video, guys?
We're going to be installing this consumer unit behind us, but I'm always a little bit nervous when we've got new contractors amongst us.
Absolutely. But here, it's almost like we're putting the band back together again, isn't it? Because we're here with Matt and Marcus from Bardell.
So Marcus is nipped off. For those who don't know him, this is Matthew from Bardell Electrical Services Limited. And we're installing the consumer unit behind us, Matthew.
Yep.
But it doesn't look like the origin of the supply to me.
No, so this is a sub-board taken from the main board through the hallway. It's about, I don't know, it's about 15 metres away.
Okay, that brings up our first question then. So we're more than 10 metres away from the origin of the supply. Are you going to install a Type 2 surge protection device in this board as well?
Yeah, I think we are. The board's got the surge protection in it, so that's what we'll use that for this one.
Okay, the number of circuits here, how are you going to protect all of these circuits?
Individual, so we'll use RCBOs.
Shall we crack on with them?
Let's go.
So the way you've set the job up, Matt, you haven't got to take many of the knockouts out, have you?
No, just 25mm one here and the two at the back.
And I think there's a plate that will sit in here, meaning you don't have to put any grommet strip in. It works as a grommet plate, and the way you've set up your cables, that's going to be an easy install.
Yeah, it should just go straight through.
I think from the review that Joe did, all the bits are inside it.
Yeah, that's it.
There they are.
Okay. So let's... Okay, so... Yeah, so I've got the grommet strip there, but these are the inserts that we'll put in the back.
To me, this is always the bit that I want to get over, where the cables are in the board, you've obviously got the steel wire armoured feeding it in, because it's just a nice dressing element now, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, so it's all quite tidy now to make, we'll just put the surge protection bits back in. But yeah, now it's just about putting the actual cables in, getting the trips in.
I take it that we've got the lighting circuits on the left and the power on the right. You've already dressed them accordingly?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, so it's sort of how they come in anyway. So we'll have all the sockets on here and lightings and smoke alarms on that side.
I see you removed the neutral and earth bar there in order to connect the steel wire armour to the metal enclosure, and you've terminated into the top of the double pole switch. What other connections did you take out that you had to re-terminate?
Just the neutral bar and the earth bar. We've just re-terminated the connections for the surge protection device.
So it just leaves us now to make those final circuit connections. Shall we pass that one over to Marcus?
Yeah.
So Matt's wandered off and we're joined by Marcus. Now you're in a lovely position, Marcus. All the cables are stripped and ready for terminating. Which order are you going to terminate them in?
So I'll start with my CPCs, and what I'll do is I'll get everything in position in the terminals, but then I'll go at the end and torque everything right at the end of the installation.
Would you class that as a top tip so you don't miss any by torquing at the very end?
Yeah.
There's also a sticker inside this consumer that gives you those torque settings as well, isn't there?
Yeah, which is a nice touch really. It saves me having to keep forgetting, going back to the box, get the instructions out and check.
So we've almost completed the install. Can you give us, from an electrician's point of view, some key points that you like about this board, Marcus?
Yeah, so there's a lot of room above the bars here, which is nice for dressing in your CPCs. You can get them looped in and leave plenty of slack up there, just in case, you know, in the future anyone comes and changes it. The DIM rail's mounted a bit further away from the back of the board, which is nice. It gives you plenty of room for dressing your cables behind as well. So
we've got a lot of cable that we can't see, obviously swooping up into the top.
Yeah, they sort of come down where they can, back up into the top of the terminal. So
any other features?
The RCBOs already come Type A, which is nice.
Okay, so we're moving away from obviously AC.
Yeah, because you go into a lot of wholesalers asking for a Type A RCBO, and they say, "Oh, we've only got B curve." So
BB, BB in the actual type of breaker.
Yeah, so it's nice that they already come as it. So I just do a little tiny quarter of a turn back, just so I make sure that it's not already too tight. And then I can go and tighten the terminal.
And that's to 2 Newton meters of torque, is it?
It is, yes.
So displayed on, and that's the same for the neutral and the earth bar?
Yes, both bars are the same.
You've cut the bus bar down to length in order to accommodate the surge protection device.
Yep.
Why do you think it's so important to return the torque setting, in this case again, to 2 Newton meters of torque within the board?
Again, I'm sort of a fan of the regs you recommend to follow manufacturer instructions. So where possible, I always try to, and you know, they state a torque setting. So if they've tested it to a certain tightness, then I believe we should put it to that tightness for them reasons. So
yeah, divides the electrical industry, and we'd love your comments below. You're the type of person that does torque the terminations back in consumer units to required manufacturer settings, or you're the sort of person that goes with what your arm feels like. We'd like those comments below. I'm torn now. I don't know what impressed me more, the speed that Bardell installed the consumer unit or the Verso consumer unit itself.
Yeah, those boys are rapid, and it was a really nice, neat install as well, wasn't it? But that was aided in part by the Verso consumer unit. You've got those big knockouts in the back to bring your cables through. Couple that with the sturdy kind of construction of it with the easy fixing points, and all the space that you've got above the RCBOs and behind the RCBOs for routing your cables, and you're onto a bit of a winner there. But what did you like about those RCBOs, Gaz?
They're A-type, and we've moved away from AC as industry has. Also, the keen-eyed amongst you might have noticed that the socket circuits were actually radial socket circuits. That's another thing that we're moving away from, or are we not? We'd love your comments on that. We'd also love all your comments about the Verso consumer unit. Is it one that you fit? And there's some real special features that we haven't mentioned. You'd like to leave those in the comments, and we'll try and get back to as many as we can.
All that remains in this video is to say thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much for watching.